The king is dead. Long live the king.
I love regional food. I love the adventure of traveling state to state, place to place, seeking it out. But sometimes you come across something that's just so obscure, you can't find the food or any information on it. The Dynamite is too small even for the smallest state. Not well known throughout Rhode Island, but specifically here in Woonsocket, allegedly.
The mysterious dynamite was revealed to me via my dear old dad, who mentioned it as part of a wider discussion on regional foods in the area. So off to Google I went, which led me to a discussion on Reddit. This led to the Castle Restaurant, sometimes called the Castle Luncheonette. This tiny Woonsocket establishment opened in the 50s. The dynamite was indeed on their menu. In fact, I found that people would even order it a la carte and just eat it with a spoon. Unfortunately, it closed in late 2020. The next mention was a spot also in Woonsocket called New York Lunch. This was mentioned with the caveat that they don't always have them. Well, it is certainly on their menu, so I planned to go all week until a few hours before embarking when I found via their Facebook page that they were closed. This seemed to be the end of the road for me, except for a cryptic reference to something called Lil General. A quick look showed that this is a small chain of convenience stores with 5 locations in Rhode Island, 2 of which are in Woonsocket. I quickly found flyers on their Facebook for dynamite rolls. This sounded promising.
So the first plan is to try to find a place that'll make me and sell me a dynamite here in Woonsocket. That didn't pan out. The next plan was to find some pre-made dynamite mix, bring it home, heat it up, make the sandwich. Didn't work out. Only one choice. Gonna have to make it from scratch. Let's at least make it from Rhode Island ingredients.
The internet is riddled with recipes, all of which are fairly similar. After glancing at a couple, new and old, I settled on this one of an extremely ancient nature, and I really like the simplicity of it. So we got down to work in my simple hotel kitchen. Interesting the use of the term Hamburg, both on Little General's sticker as well as the old recipe. Must be a Rhode Island thing. Added some Chicago Jardiniere, which I just happened to have with me. Seemed to make sense. Extra vegetables and heat. Got all that going. Once the beef had rendered, went in with the beginnings of the aromatics. Red onion and a full coffee mug full of chopped celery, which was I think 4 stalks. Went in with tomato paste and some whole tomatoes. And then my second add-in that I just happened to have on hand, Ajvar pepper paste. And of course a splash of red wine, as this is, at its core, an Italian recipe. I held off on adding the peppers until things had cooked for a good 45 minutes because I wanted them to be cooked but not decimated. Don't forget your habanero pepper. It is dynamite after all. And let this cook for a couple hours. In the meantime, let's have a coffee milk. I'm so thirsty, just hankering for a coffee milk. If you look close there, it says original state drink of Rhode Island. Yeah, I know ice and milk is probably considered weird to most people, but drinking milk is considered weird to me. I don't know the last time I drank even an ounce of milk. Just gonna eyeball this. If it's a little extra, so be it. I want my coffee milk experience to be delicious. Should give this stuff a smell. I wouldn't say coffee. I would say that's some kind of weird chocolate type thing. The top 2 ingredients are high fructose corn syrup and corn syrup. So this is going to be highly sweetened, and that's fine. This stuff only has a few ingredients: the aforementioned corn syrups, plural, coffee extract, caramel color, and potassium sorbate, which no doubt is a preservative. This appears to be shelf stable. It doesn't say anything about keeping it refrigerated. Autocrat coffee milk. Again, I don't think I would say coffee if I didn't know what this was. I would say some kind of caramel-y type thing. Barely getting in the territory of butterscotch, or just like plain caramel, kind of a weak caramel. I don't know, did I not put enough in here? Just go all in, give it another squirt. It's not bad. It's not as sweet as I thought it might be. No, that tastes the same, even with the additional syrup. There's no way I would say coffee. Wouldn't say chocolate. Yeah, it kind of has like a stale component to it. It's not like horrendous or gag worthy. That is not what I expected. There's very little coffee, anything going on in here. Oh well. On to the Dynamite. Gotta have the proper Rhode Island beer for a proper Rhode Island sandwich. The dynamite is upon us. The king is dead. Long live the king. The habanero definitely provides more of a background hum than outright heat. I hesitated to chop it up and throw the whole thing in there. It's pleasant, but it's that specific kind of deadly heat, not like a jalapeno. This dynamite roll is a bit soft for something this wet. This beer is phenomenal. The peppers came out perfect. They are al dente, which is what I wanted. They're really the star of the show, and one of the only things that separates this from a sloppy Joe. I have a strong premonition that this will improve overnight as the flavors marry in the refrigerator. Bits of celery and onion are still quite visible, even after more than 90 minutes of cooking. You can come back to the fundamentals of what makes this a dynamite and not a loose meat sandwich or a sloppy Joe. So you really need those things to be intact for it to be legitimate, in my estimation at least. And as Dad's dynamite sandwich says, it is indeed good with beer. Well, that's all for now, folks. Thanks for coming along with me on a ride to the country's small estate. Find yourself a little general or a convenience store in your neighborhood that happens to sell fresh meat. Certainly none in my neighborhood do. And go out of your way to get yourself some Gansett. It won't let you down. Catch you on the flip side.